welcome back to another week in my classroom. And I did have this fedora hat on. So today I need to rework our schedule. That we had a lot of engaging activities today. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another week in my classroom. This is actually the beginning of week 9. Our grading period will be ending next week, which is almost the last week of October, but not quite. But yeah, it'll be ending next week. And as a continuation of last week's vlog, my students were working on a haunted house escape room that I created after being inspired by Miss Fifth, Brittany Root. And I decided that this morning we're going to flip our schedule a little bit. We're supposed to start with reading, but I'm actually going to start with math, and I'm going to change it a little bit because last time the students were working on the haunted house escape room as one of the stations out of 4 stations that I had them doing. But today I decided to have the haunted house escape room be in all 5 groups, 5 teams that I have in my classroom, and have every team attempting to unlock every task in the haunted house escape room at the same time. And then I can walk around and facilitate the students' progress. I have to finish getting it ready because I decided to do that last week and then I left and I just got in this morning. So I'm gonna cut away at this paper, put it in the envelopes, but let me show you how it's looking. So this is how I had the escape room set up. I just put the 3 envelopes inside of this Ziploc bag and I'm missing one, so I gotta put the 3rd one in there. And I also have a recording sheet, which I'll show you in a moment. But these are the different tasks. So it starts with lock 1, which they have to match these cards to the correct problem that it solves, and then it'll reveal the code. Then task 2 is different word problems and solutions that they have to find. And the answer, or the letter of the answer that they choose, is a letter that they're going to use to unscramble. And then we have the story problem, which is task 3. They have to solve that and record their answer, and they use a decoder to find the message. So again, I have all the envelopes here to go. I'll be putting them in this gallon-size zipper bags. And this is the recording sheet that I am going to give to each student. So every bag is going to have 5 of these so that each person in that team can go ahead and list their answers as they solve each lock. So let's see how it goes this morning. I'll let you know how everything turns out, and I'll also give you the highlights for today. But for now, let me get this ready to go and welcome the students in a couple of minutes. It's now the end of the day, and some of the highlights for today was that the escape room this morning was a huge success. Every student was able to unlock all 3 doors and escape the haunted mansion. I want to say that from start to finish, it took the students about 45 minutes to do that, so it was a good idea to just have them all do it at the same time. And then I walked around and provided assistance as needed. And then later on in the day, the students took their reading test. And we also went ahead and started a new chapter in our social studies book and our science book. So in social studies, we were working on the regions of the United States. And in that chapter, there's a couple of concepts of geography that I want the students to be aware of and know. So I did split them up into teams. I gave them a choice this time. I told them they could either choose to do it individually, in partners, or in a group of no more than 4 people. And they started working and deciding what they needed to do. They need to read their sections and work on their poster little by little. They'll do that throughout the week. And then in science, we also started a new chapter, which is on the types of rocks, sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic. We also were talking about minerals and about soil. So I showed them a couple of videos from Brain Pop and from Vocabulary so I can introduce the concept, and then we'll start working on activities for that and adding notes in our notebook. All right, so that is basically the gist of what happened today. So now I'm going to move us on to Tuesday. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday. So I'm getting ready to welcome the students in the classroom in a few minutes, but I wanted to share with you a project that I am assigning for the students today. Now, I kind of hyped about this project for a little over a week with the students, and they're actually excited to do it. And I am planning to go over some of the things, the logistics, and also maybe have them work a little bit on the project in the classroom from time to time. But it is my natural disasters project. Now, this is the actual research project outline, and I like to present it with playing Mission Impossible music in the background, wearing my fedora and saying, "Dear scientific investigator, your mission, if you choose to accept it," and I usually say, and you have to accept it because it is a project you have to do, is to investigate one of nature's most powerful forces, natural disasters. So they'll get a pick out of any of these 10 natural disasters. And they have to create a one-page research report. And it's okay if it's maybe over a page or so. That one page doesn't cover the cover and it doesn't cover the reference page, which I will be telling them how to do that. They need to also create an interactive presentation. They have a choice between PowerPoint, Google Slides, Prezi, or a self-created video. And then, of course, they have to actually present it. This is worth 3 grades, and it's due in about 3 weeks. The students will have about 3 weekends to work on it, and again, we'll do some of it in class. So what I'm going to do is I have all 10 projects here, or all 10 natural disasters here, and there's 3 per natural disaster, so I have a little bit over 25. I have 25 students. So I'm going to cut these apart, and I'm going to put them inside my fedora hat, which I will be wearing. So when I take it off, making sure my head is down so they don't fall all over me, I have already the papers inside of the hat and the students pick it. And then I write their name and the actual natural disaster that they chose. Now, along with this, the students have a scientific investigator's field notes that they have to use to take notes of the video, the book, and the website, because this is a research project. So I want them to have 3 different sources and 3 different types of sources. And then I also included a scoring rubric so that they know where the points are coming from out of each part that they need to make sure they complete for this project. This project is worth 3 grades, and in the past, the students really have a great job learning about these natural disasters. So that is what I have planned to share with the students today. Other than that, we also have an in-class social studies project that I mentioned yesterday. They're going to be creating posters about different sections in chapter 2 of our social studies book. And we also have a math test this morning. But before we get the math test done, I'm going to have the students that haven't done the GIM kit from last week, Friday, when we were doing math stations, they're going to do their GIM kit quiz. And the other students are going to do their math coloring page on 2-digit multiplication. So then after that, they'll do their test, and then we'll continue on with our day. So that's all I want to share with you right now in the morning before I get my day started, and I will catch up with you later. All right, it's now the end of the day, and the highlight of the day was actually the natural disasters project. And to present it, like I said, I did use the Mission Impossible song, and I did have this fedora hat on while I shared the information of the project. And also when I went to tip it over, all the papers were inside. Of course, I took them out. I have like 7 little papers left. I had a total of 30. I had 2 students that were not here, or actually they left early. They were here, but then they left early. So when they come back, they'll draw what their project is. And again, the kids have about 3 weeks to get it done, 3 weekends. So it's almost like 4 weeks, but not quite. The project is due on November 6th, which is a Wednesday. Other than that, they were taking their math tests, which they needed a lot of time to complete, so I'm going to try and see if they can have a little bit more tomorrow because I still have a couple students that didn't finish. All right, so I have to head on out because I have an appointment, and I will now move us on to Wednesday. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday. So today I need to rework our schedule because we were just giving some computer lab time so that the students have time during the school day to complete iReady. So now I have 2 days during the week that I can take the students to the computer lab for 40 minutes each day and have them work on iReady. So I'm thinking one day would be reading and the other day would be math. And then if they get to their minutes, they can do some reflex math. So that's very exciting. but it will change our schedule because it's going to take some of the time away from what we already have in place for the subjects. And because certain subjects need to have a certain amount of time, it's going to go into our recess time. So I will be working it out and figuring out the best way to fit those times in and let the students know about the new changes, which is also going to benefit them because if they're done with their minutes, then they can use that time as a recess in a sort of way using the different educational sites that we have available for them. All right, so right now I'm going to work on that, get the day ready. We start with reading today. It is a short day because our Wednesdays are always an early release day. Instead of the students leaving at 3:05, they leave at 1:50 p.m. And they also need to finish a couple of tests for me so that I can grade those, put them in the grade book, and debrief with the students. So I will let you know what the highlights are for the rest of the day. And until then, I'll see you later. It's now the end of the day, and let's just say that today has been a day of having students do choice activities because I needed a couple students to finish their tests in both reading and math. And this morning, the choice activities for reading were, as you saw in the clips, quizzes was one of the choices. So they had a choice to play a compare and contrast game where they had to actually read some passages and then answer the compare and contrast questions. And that was one of their choices. And then they had two other choices that I wrote on the board. I just wrote it very quickly, and here's the first choice, which is the poster, and then what I needed the poster to include, and then write an original song or rap teaching others about compare and contrast, making sure they also included those 3 little bullets from the poster, and then of course the play a compare and contrast live game on quizzes. The students really enjoyed it, but I think they prefer GimKit over quizzes. But we'll see. I am going to have them play Kahoot at some point or another in teams, and then we'll see how they like that one. Each different online game has its different characteristics that are pluses, and of course there's some minuses too, but they offer a different experience when it comes to that. And now that we have our laptop cart, I can't wait to start a lesson with Nearpod, and Nearpod has their own game called Time to Climb. So I can't wait to introduce the students to that for a lesson that I'm planning to do next week. So other than that, for math, what they were working on is they color by number, which this is the resource. It's the Halloween math mystery pictures from Math Mojo. This is the 4th grade edition, but she also has some in different grades, and I loved it. So the students created this one. It's a double-sided one that I created with 2-digit multiplication. And some of the students got the division one that's similar to this because they did have to do a pumpkin, and on the back they had to do another image. But since we're starting division, some of the students that were done with the 2 sides of this got the division problem one. So yeah, that's what we were working on. So those are the little highlights from today, Wednesday. And now I'm just going to work on some other things, get ready for tomorrow. And then once it's time to go home and get some other things done. So now I'm going to move us on to Thursday. Oh, but one more thing before I go, because I forgot that this morning I was mentioning how I needed to make some changes to our schedule to include our computer lab time. So this is so far what I have working with me. The good thing is that if I do need to switch out my computer lab time for another time, there's still some other slots available, but we'll try how this goes starting tomorrow. So our computer lab time is on Monday and Thursday, and this is how I kind of shifted my schedule. So the first thing that I did was I moved my writing time, which was right after reading in the morning. We do need to have writing every day for 30 minutes. So I used to have the writing here with the reading, but it's okay. Writing has to happen every day, but it doesn't necessarily have to happen right around reading, even though we do it together. But for the purpose of the schedule, this is how I put it. So reading, we go to the computer lab. Then after lunch, instead of recess, now we have an hour of science, math, then they go to PE. Then we have writing after PE, and we end Monday with social studies. Then Thursday looks like this. So we start with math, they go to art, they go to lunch. After lunch, they have science. After science, we go to the computer lab. After the computer lab, we have our ELA block where writing is together with reading. And then we end with social studies. So that's pretty much how the schedule currently flows. All right, again, let's see how it happens. I'll see the full effect of it next week when we actually go on Monday and Thursday to the lab. and then we'll see if we need to make any tweaks or changes here and there. But making it work with the times that we have. All right, so now I'm definitely going to move us on to Thursday. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Thursday. So this morning, as I am trying to put my schedule for Thursday together, I realized that because of the new change in the schedule, because of our computer lab time, which is new, I need new slips for that slot, as well as new time cards, because I do have new times for reading and social studies on Thursdays, but this is my schedule so far. So we start out just like before, regular. I do have science now after lunch on Thursdays. I have to change the color. So I need a new science strip with like a blue color to match that. And I need a new color. I'm not sure if this is the color that goes next. I have to look at the order. What's up there? So it looks like it is the color that goes next. So I need one that says maybe computers, because computer lab is going to be too long. So maybe just computers, put a little computer icon. I need a new time slot for 12:35 for reading, and this has to be a different color to match that. And I need a 2:35 slot for social studies. So I'm gonna work on those right now since I have about an hour before the kids come in, and hopefully I can put it up and update our schedule with that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I will give you highlights of different things that we end up doing today, as well as my reflection on today's computer lab time, because it'll be the first time that we go as a whole class and they're all at the same time on the computers. So, all right, see you then. There we go. Go ahead and answer the question.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, let's go.
Oh, look, you're climbing the mountain.
Oh, snap.
All right. All right, everyone, it's the end of the day, and I hope that you saw from the video clips that we had a lot of engaging activities today. We started the morning by having the students draw on their desk with expo markers to show their models for division. So we were working with remainders and having students put numbers in equal groups and seeing what the remainder was, and they didn't want to stop doing it, which was awesome. Then after that, in the afternoon, we reviewed our reading assessment that we recently took this week, and I wanted to do it in a fun way because sometimes when you review tests, it can be boring. So I decided, since we have our computer cart, I wanted to put students in groups of 2 or 3 per computer and have them do a Nearpod. I put the questions on Nearpod, the students answered them, and they got them all right as we were doing it together. And I hope that it helped the students realize why the answer they chose was not the correct answer and why the answer that was correct and how it addressed the question. So that was a lot of fun. And then we ended the day with having them work under posters for our social studies chapter 2, which they love. This class loves projects, and I don't mind giving them options, so it's wonderful. So right now I'm getting ready to head on out and continue on with other things outside of school. So I will move us on to Friday. Hello everyone, it is now Friday, and today is actually superhero day / cartoon character day, or dress like a superhero or dress like a cartoon character, as part of our United Way campaign. So I decided to wear my lipstick and little shorts that says read, with all the superheroes in the read letters, like a hero. perfect shirt for today. I love it. The kids are coming in kind of dressed up or wearing a superhero shirt like me. Lots of fun. So this morning they're working on practicing the division that we were working on yesterday, and then we'll continue our day, and I'll make sure to give you the highlights of today. It is Friday, so I do have to plan for next week and also finalize some grades so that I don't leave it all to the last minute, because next week is the end of the first grading period. So this first grading period ended up having 10 weeks. Most of our grading periods have 10 weeks, except for the third grading period, which only has 9 weeks. But yeah, that's all that we are trying to get through today and through the end of the grading period. And then next week, Friday, I was asked by my district to provide a professional development for gifted teachers. So I also need to plan for that, because I need to figure out what are the handouts that I'm going to need and what is the PowerPoint that I'm going to present and the activities. I have an idea of what I'm going to do, but I need to finalize it so that I'm ready to go for next week, Friday, which I'm very excited to do. All right, so let me get going to continue preparing a couple of things here and there, and I will see you later. It is now the end of the day, and it has been a day that was a little bit of a struggle for me. I'm not lying. I was so tired, but the kids and I still managed to have a lot of fun, especially during recess, playing Minecraft EDU, and they took their vocabulary test at the end of the day. We read the shared selection from our Wonders unit, talked about how businesses can help others and how people can do businesses to help other people. So that was really great. And we worked on division this morning in math. So that's all I have to share for you today. I know Friday wasn't very eventful, but it's just how it goes sometimes. Well, I hope you enjoyed coming along with us in our 5-day school week of the 9th week of school. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile. Hello dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you, because you are capable of great things. See you next time.